Hello everyone, it is Jebrounity. Today we're going to be going over a deck for Elsa Bloodstone. Now if you don't know who Elsa Bloodstone is, she is the newest card for the latest season of Marvel Snap, and that is the kind of Halloween month themed Marvel Snap season. What she does is, if you play another card to fill a location, you give them free power. So anything that you put out into the field, as well as bringing back into your deck, is going to be really, really fun to play, especially when you fill, obviously, with Elsa in mind, when you fill that location up with that card, it's going to give you extra power. So Kitty Pryde is really, really fantastic. She's always building +1 power anyway when you throw her out. Then if she fills a location, she's going to get that +3, and then she's going to be put out again. You could fill her and you could put her in a ton of different locations. You can fill. Fantastic. Okay, this does not work with things like Squirrel Girl. It does work with things like Mysteria though, because you play these illusions to other locations. Whereas Squirrel Girl, actually, what is the actual wordage she has? Add or what? Add. That is the different thing. That is the difference between Squirrel Girl and Mysterio. You add a squirrel to each lane, whereas Mysterio plays something to each lane. Things like there's Shana as well. Is it Shana? There you go. She is going to add a random 1-cost card to each location. Again, add. That's the wording. Okay, I don't think that actually plays well with Elsa at all. That's add, that's not play. Okay, so Mysterio is very different in this. So when you pop Mysterio down, you've got like one spot in each location left, and you may play Mysterio with something like, you know, Hit Monkey right at the end. Mysterio and Hit Monkey are really good, as well as other cards which we'll get into. Those zero power side cards are going to get +3 power each one if they fill those locations. It's damn well awesome. It's just awesome fun to play. There are so many win ratios with this deck. I love it. Even if I don't get Elsa Bloodstone out, I still win games because I've got cards which can do the winning. Okay, I love this deck. It's one of the most favorite decks I've made yet, because one of the reasons is because it's very similar to that kind of Angela, Kitty Pryde Bishop decks that came out about like 2 or 3 seasons ago, which were really fun, and I'm pretty sure I was one of the first to come out with that deck, but hey we'll never know. I didn't have any kind of tracker back then. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, I'm really excited apparently. So Kitty Pryde, really, really good for those +3 adds when you pop them out to fill locations, as well as just gaining static power. Really solid 1-cost card, still really good. They nerfed her, but it's still really good. Nightcrawler is really fun. I can't wait to put the gameplay out for this as well. If you put Nightcrawler out early game, and then you fill up a lane with, say, Kitty Pryde, or you fill up a lane with something static which doesn't move, you can move Nightcrawler out of that location, and then you can fill it with someone else and they will get +3. So having move cards is going to be really good. Vision could be a really, really good card in this if you don't want to have a Shang-Chi in there, or you want to switch it out with something else as well. So Vision could be up to an 11 power because it's 8 base power, so if you fill him up on a location as well, so it could be really, really good. You never know. Reason why I like keeping this low is because you've got things like Hit Monkey and Bishop, so you can really pump up those cards, especially if you get Sarah out on turn 5, or they pop a wave out and you can get Sarah. Really, really good. And if you go to games, if you go to the 7th turn, this deck starts to thin out because you probably got most of your cards out by that time, and that's going to be tricky. So thinking about something that can counter that twist might be nice as well. So chucking something like a Storm in this deck, chucking something like, obviously like Storm would be really solid as well, especially if you fill up the lane, and you can chuck things like, you know, you can move a Jeff in there or a Nightcrawler. Like Jeff can go wherever the hell he wants. Jeff doesn't care. And if you fill Jeff into a lane and then pop him over to a lane which you can't get to, so good. Like playing him with Professor X actually could be another really, really good card to play him with. There's so much versatility with this Elsa Bloodstone card. I actually love this card. It's so good, and it's not ongoing, it's not reveal. Loads of things you can do with it. Okay, What else are we going to look at here? We are going to go to Goose. Goose stops a lot of really high cost cards like 4s, 5s, 6. Someone's having a shower. 4, 5, 6 cost cards coming into this lane as well. Don't forget you got low cost cards as well. So having something which can really stop those big cards from coming out. So say like someone pops a Shuri out and you pop this out on the same turn, like they've effed themselves. They've effed themselves hard. Like, you know, you think there's a place where you might see a card come out on, like, you know, Shuri's what's it called? Shuri's Workshop or whatever, when they double the amount that comes out on one of the cards. Like if it's a big card, you know, that's another location which is great to play it on. There's loads of possibilities. It's really to keep the big power cards low down on the board, because you want to do that because these are really low powered cards to start off with. So if something pops out which is really, really high power, and then they pop out like a Taskmaster out, you can be effed as well. So you gotta be careful. Mojo is one of those ones which you could probably maybe have a look at switching out, but it's gonna gain a lot of power off a 2 cost card. So if you fill this in, this is the last card you pop into a location. Always play Mojo late if you're gonna plan to fill this up. And you know they're gonna ram a location full of cards. Always play Mojo later in the game, like 3 or 4 turn earliest. Unless you've got nothing to chuck out, maybe chuck a Mojo out because it'll put them off the lane. Because it's gonna get +6 power, okay, and the 3 additional power from Elsa Bloodstone. So that's 9 power, and then plus the 2, that's 11. That's 11 power on a 2 cost card potentially if you play them late. Really solid. Jeff, like I said, if you pop him into a location last, is going to be 6 power. You can move him into a location which is already rammed full of cards. If you play something like Professor X with Jeff, really beautiful. If you play him and they've got something like a Storm on the other location as well, and you've got the difference of like 2 or 3 power and they're winning that lane, Jeff, pull him over, beautiful. And again, if Jeff is on a lane like Nightcrawler and you've got that lane full up and another card has just popped into the location and filled it up and they're that +3, you can pop this over and then put another card into that location and you've got another +3 card. It's so good. And you can do that with Kitty Pryde over and over and over again. So good. Mysterio again. It's 3 cards across the board. Mysterio works really, really good with Bishop. So after you play a card, this gains 1 power. Don't forget, this is a play card. Play and add a different. This only works with play, not add. So just remember that. Dazzler is a beautiful card. I love Dazzler so much. Dazzler +2 power for each location that's full on your side. So you get 2, 2, 2, extra 6 power, 8, and then you can get +3 as well. That can go up to 11. Bish, bash, bosh. If you is the last card in a location, of course. It's really, really solid. Hit Monkey as well. Gain +2 power for each card you played this turn. Hitmonkey works fantastically well with Mysterio. Mysterio is just a really solid, decent card. It's kind of cheeky because Mysterio doesn't really have powers. Are really good, and yet he's really strong in this game. Well, he's only strong with other people, right? Like, so he's a good sidekick. But Bishop is loving a little bit of Mysterio as well. So you get 3 power from Bishop. From Mysterio with Bishop, and then you get with Hitmonkey, you get +2 for each card. So you get 6 with just that. And then you're going to be loving it all day and night. Don't forget, don't know why I said that. Shang-Chi is going to be your Shang-Chi is going to be a bit of a clutch card as well. You won't always play him, but like he's going to be really, really good to come out to blast those big power cards down. If they've got nothing to protect you, they haven't got an armor, they haven't got anything to stop reveals with Cosmo, they haven't got anything else that's going to be able to take him out. He could be maybe a last on a location, but sometimes got to risk it for a biscuit, right? You either think, are they going to pop out a high power card judged based on what they have? So they might stick a null out, for example. They may stick out something like, they might have already had something like a high powered Venom, which is like 20 plus. And you're thinking, oh damn, maybe they're going to put an Zola out, for example, on that lane. It's going to copy this Venom to each lane. If they have priority, you can chuck that Shang-Chi out, take out that Venom, and bish, bash, bosh, shing. They're effed. They're done. Okay, so Shang-Chi, power, just to get rid of the sheer power. Keep that power low on the lane, okay? That's what you want to do. When I say lane, I mean location. I keep saying lane. It makes sense. And Sarah's going to be the obvious card which comes in to lower the cost of your cards. So if they've got Sarah and you pop this out early, you know, you've got it out turn early. Beautiful. Really, really easy deck to play. Like, well, it's not easy to play because you've got to get used to where you pop those cards, right? So do you power up a Kitty Pryde? Depending on if they're a destroy deck, I wouldn't spend time doing that very actively. I would use her to, you know, buff up locations when you need to, and there's another card that can come in and be last potentially, you know, play it with something else, because they're probably going to play something like, you know, Killmonger and destroy it anyway. But that's like 1 game out of 10 maybe you might get. What other cards could go well in this deck? Anything low cost, really, anything to fill it up. Oh god, what was it? Angela would be really decent in this deck as well, because you can always pop those Kitty Prydes out. Angela probably should be in this deck. You could even put Angela in for Mojo. I think Angela or Mojo is really good. It really depends if you're going to fill up your lane and they're going to fill up theirs. So play around. You could put Angela within Mojo in there. You could put Angela for maybe Dazzler, but I honestly really like this solid. Like, if you don't care about power and you're just going for your own power, you could just pop in Angela for Goose. But I like having tech cards like these. I really like to counter them, honestly. So I want to make sure that I defeat. So if I put Goose out, I'm already winning that lane probably. As long as I get Elsa Bloodstone out, should be fine. What else? Armor as well to protect one cost cards if you really want to, but I'm being fine. What's funny is sometimes as well, if they pop out a green goblin, for example, and they chuck that over to your lane, you kind of end up countering that anyway. It's a 0 cost card. You fill that lane. Elsa's Bloodstone is going to give you +3, and you're going to kind of counter it anyway, which it's not the best, but you know, hey ho. What have I had trouble versus? The only real thing I've had trouble versus is really big power builds so far. Things like, you know, Sauron, when you get rid of ongoing card effects and then you just pop out like a Taskmaster. That's pretty annoying. That's been a really tough one, but I don't go up against that much. So Sauron here, as you can see, removes the abilities from ongoing cards in your deck, and they'll pop out an armor before and then they'll put that out, and then I'm like, oh, I just went versus that, and it was a really, really tough series. I only played it in Conquest once. I think I could beat it, but they were pretty good. They were pretty high level player, I reckon. There are other potentials in here, but I'm just enjoying this how it is. If you've got any other suggestions for what you think could be good with this, let me know. You could pop out a Nebula instead of maybe something else. But I really like the Nightcrawler and the Jeff. I love that variant as well. So good. You could also play Spider-Man. Like, if you look at the release notes, Spider-Man is a really good card to like pop out as well, as he moves. So you could put him out, Spider-Man on turn. Let's just double check because I can't remember how much is he. Is he free cost now? He is free cost. So you can pop him out, be the last card on that location. Then he can get +3 by when he moves to another location, and it'll be an 8 cost card on a level on a free. He'll be an 8 power card on a free cost. But in all honesty, like I said, you know, you've got other cards here which are actually higher, which I actually think are better. So you can get here, you can get what, 11 on Dazzler. You can get Bishop, you can get up to 11+ easy. You know, these cards go up a lot higher, so that's why I've got them in instead of Spider-Man. And I've seen a lot of Spider-Mans with Elsa Bloodstone. So play around with it. I reckon this is probably one of the most solid Elsa Bloodstone decks you're gonna get. I reckon people could probably play it better than me as well, because I'm very average and I'm older and I'm slow. So like, and I'm having fun. I'm already up to like, I don't really normally blast through seasons on purpose at all. And like, platinum is pretty high for me at this point in the season in the first week. Normally I get to diamond and I just peace out and I just kind of play conquest. I think I'm actually going to try and get higher. I reckon I'm going to try for Vibranium this season. Again, if people are like, why no an infinite? It's not that hard, blah, blah, blah. I don't really play for ranked mode. I just play for fun and to make builds and to have fun on this channel. I'm very casual at this, but I play every day. But like, I just play fun decks that I love playing, and I don't like copying other people. I just don't. I don't know if it's my ADHD. I don't know if it's other things. I just love creating stuff myself. I don't look for builds. I just don't. I want to learn the game myself. Other than like with friends and like looking at decks and comparing to each other and like playing each other. I might get an idea here on there, but I just love playing this myself and having goes. And I've loved the chat on the last video, and when we talked about Nimrod and whatnot. That was really, really fun because we were just talking a lot about how Mr. Sinister wasn't that good, and I was like, yeah, it's true, but I really like that clutch play you get sometimes. And then people were saying, oh, well, that would be cool if you maybe just put out magic instead, and then you could pop something else out. Then you got extra chance to pop out Mr. Sinister, and then you can get Artem Zola. And we just had this really, really good chat about that. You're gonna have to watch that video to understand what I'm talking about, and maybe even join the conversation. Teaser. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate you checking out this video. I will pop out some gameplay as soon as I can. That will be on a Wednesday. Don't forget, build deck videos are normally out on the weekend, and then the gameplay is out midweek. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.